We are live. I haven't talked to anyone in a while, so I didn't even clear my throat yet. I gotta mute the mic so I can clear my throat so I feel like I talk normal. All right, there. So, Forge of Mars was running just a little behind, but he'll be here soon enough. And gosh, there was a bunch more really good pictures, including a full scale Titan. I'll have to go look at that one again because in the person's profile, they have this angle that is just crazy. It's like way underneath, but it's kind of just looking at one arm. And I'll have to show it later because it would be amazing if it was like slightly tilted underneath that big Titan. So I'll kind of show that. Hey, Mechanical Frog and Crimson and Clayton, thanks a lot for coming. So I was going to work on this one from Brush Wizard. I loved his dirt biker dudes. And I wanted to do the Ratkin. And I didn't do any of the Ratkin yet. And it was since I don't even think I have any coming up. Who knows if I ever do. But I wanted to do some more Mantic stuff to get a little more familiar with it. And so I was looking up, reading up on some of the world and that. I was like, all right, let me play with some of the colors and maybe the style of how I would do it and stuff. So I figured I would mess with this one today as well. Let me see. I want to highlight this. I don't have a good way to do lights. Like these have these cool lights on the front, and it feels like I'm halfway there with the way I would do like a headlamp light like that, but I still don't. I feel like I'm missing something. Full skill. Yeah, Clayton, and you know what? Let me try to pull it up now. I will do that now. Let me see. Where is this bad boy? Those things are so crazy looking. Here's this. Oops. And new Loki out today. I'm gonna go watch that later. There's another one. Rob Walters put in a cool. I think it's a knight carrying a banner. There's some Blood Bowl ones. Adriatis. There's a real cool one. I might do that one Sunday. He put one in today, and it's a little intense because it's got a full scale background and everything, but it's a really great pick. All right, now I'm having trouble finding it. Oh, there it is. All right, let me switch screens. Bam. So this one, Chris Jackson, and it's really awesome. But when you go to his, and I almost was doing it, and I went to his profile. How do I get to the profile now? This view. Look at how cool this view would be. Like, that's so dramatic. You never really get to see something like that. So I want almost the same view he submitted, but from this angle looking up. Like that would look so massive. That picture is just incredible to me. Like that nice forced perspective, and you got the shadow underneath the carapace and all that. So I definitely want to see if he would be interested in trying to get a picture like that. Because like this same angle, but from that camera, from underneath like that, looking more up at it. And I think it would be awesome. And then try to get, you know how some of those covers, they 40K covers, they have like the huge, architecture going on behind them that are just sprawling and massive. So it might be fun to play with that. But that was one of them. I just wanted to show that because I thought it was incredible. Yeah, Clayton, that that looking up you and you never see it. So, you see a lot of these big titans, but you never see that like super tight up view and all that. And so I want to, and it works because it's the massive titan, so you get like better shadow and everything too. Although I'm sure you could probably get really close with the small one. Oh yeah, and you're starting one, Clayton. Oh wait, let me go to here. I can do this. So much pose inspiration for I'm starting the next one. King Crimson. When am I? We you whenever we'll have to get you on here, King Crimson, and put one of your minis up. I just haven't even grabbed one. I don't even know why. We'll get there. I want to have you on one time too, so we'll talk and work on a paint over for you. Let me figure out. It's like that's close, but it's not. And I went with these because I'm like, they're in Dominion. Um, I mean, not in Dominion, but they're in the new Kill Team box. So I was like, well, maybe if I release the video on, YouTube, might be able to ride along for some extra views somehow. As a hot topic. Maybe the linear light. Still don't like it. I know Clayton was gonna. What were you doing? You were assembling set up some computers. I didn't know. Are you at work, King Crimson? Good. Yeah, but Clayton, you seem like you'd be in demand. I don't think demand for that kind of stuff ever goes away. So it's not even. I might have to look up some things on that. There's got to be a nice way to do it in the layers that makes more sense. Brush. And I know which we'll call it. Oh, Forge. Forge of Mars says 10 minutes. Coming on in. Don't rush, dude. Rob Walters, evening. Awesome. Rob, that one was really cool. With that banner, that I finally seen it finished today. That was I like that one. And you don't see anything like that where the knight itself is holding it. So that was pretty cool. Trim party. Yeah, what was Clayton? That was you, the paint marker, right? I would probably like something on all these big titans. Oh my gosh, I'd be like trying to paint marker all that stuff. Yeah, is that one an armature or was it a knight or is an armature and a knight the same thing? Ah, okay. So he's working on the square to go with the knight. I still want the. Is it the Eldar Knights? Back in the one White Dwarf, like when it was coming out, they had a knight version where it almost looked like a horse with the four legs and everything. Man, those would be cool down the line. Armature is half the size of a knight. Okay. I would bet Clayton said someone made some 3D files for a Centaur Imperial Knight. Yeah, I think that one would be one of those you kind of see something of. That is another thing that's great about the whole 3D printing thing, is you can totally fill in something. If there's something like that, you want, well, not technically, because someone has to be able to make the 3D, but in general, they have something out for it. Overlay. Let's put a little blue in it. Rob, what are you working on? Are you working on anything, or are you like? I think you're UK. Hopefully, you're done with the work for the day. All right, now we're gonna do this. No, I don't like it. Oh, that's why I don't like it. Damn, on the wrong layer. Spline Swine, thanks for making it. What's been your worst downtime ever? Life interruptions, lack of inspiration, and how long did it take? What did you do to bounce back? That would have to be early on. It's been the worst downtime ever. I don't know. That would just be. That's a good question. I don't even know. I'd have to think about it. Probably family member stuff. People passing away. And that just takes time. Oh, I gotta make the wheel spin. I do not like these lights. I like the one light. See, that's why I leave it on layers. I'm gonna figure out a better way to do that. Archdev, yeah, there's Scott Ferguson's brush wizard, who I almost didn't do this one because he didn't sell me the one bike I wanted. I always like these. I don't even know when he started them. 6 months ago or something longer. Yeah, I think it's the Gene Stealer cult bikes, and then the Krieg on them. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, he's a. I really like his work, and he's fast. Like I almost, I don't know what it is. I think just someone getting it done fast or working fast makes me like him more, or something. The miniatures. So it's like if someone does a good job and it's fast, it's almost like more impressive to me than if you really labor on it and do a ton of little small stuff. Although I'm sure these took plenty of time. Clayton, no, but it's true with you. Clayton says, "I understand why you're friends now." Yeah, yeah, and the speed is something like you crank out a lot, and like especially with yours, I seen it get a lot, like keep progressing, even like the style and how good it looks over the last year. So that's just been fun to watch. I wish I knew that with art early on. I was half, you know, I should have concentrated more on speed. That's why I concentrate almost more on speed now on most of these things, and because it's for me it's like faster to learn by just keep doing them. It's like okay, go on next. No, R7. Oh, yeah, I'm the slowest one here. Arch Dev, I don't. I seen your name. So did you submit a pic this week? I don't recall you on Twitter too much.
I'm never on Twitter.
Oh, here's our special guest. I'll pull up the screen here.
Guest, loosely, special, very.
1, 2, there he is. Lich Paints on Twitter. Okay. Then I remember seeing you. What up, Lee?
Oh, hot, as you can tell, sleeveless.
Rocking it.
Yeah,
Wait, are you drinking a beer? Are you drinking a beer?
always drinking a beer.
Oh, see, one of these days I'm gonna have something. I didn't. I'm allowed. This isn't like a. I don't know. Like I can have a drink.
I've been drinking for the last, 20 weeks.
two 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock on a Wednesday. I'm allowed.
Yeah, yeah. In lockdown, I would start at maybe, 9. Depends what mood you're in. If you're continuing from the night before, then I'm awake now. More beer or whatever, or maybe a spritzer.
Spritzer, yeah. Uh, uh. Well, they're White Claws now, but what was a Zima? Bust out the Zima.
Or the old dodgy stuff. The youth of my past youth used to drink, which was it's probably like paint stripper now.
Four Loco. Break out the old Four Loco.
Ross. Hello, everybody in the chat. Nice to see you. I noticed when I sent my message that I was on my way, that Crimson had already gotten in prematurely somewhat with the lead. But now I'm here. How's your week been anyway, Ben?
Kind of. It's been okay. I didn't have a bad week. Just between the heat and doing a bunch of stuff around here, got a bunch of stuff going on. So it's just kind of been up and down. And after today, and I had an extra dog here for today and yesterday. So that was just a whole little minor thing in of itself because the dogs are all like rambunctious for the first couple hours and you're trying to tear stuff up and everything. So it was just like a little bit extra added on there. Today they chilled out some in that, so it's been decent to be able to get some work done, and then wanted to get to these, do some paint overs. I was been working doing the Mantic stuff, and then I've only done the couple free ones last week, and then like commissions and like the Mantic stuff I work slower on, so you're not churning out the same amount of stuff, you know what I mean? So I'm like you said, okay, get one, and I feel good when something's done and I count. So it's always good for me to do this and try to get one like done, just get a quick one and learn something. And
So these are Rough Riders.
yeah, these are so he did so good with the Gene Stealer bikes and these things.
See, with the looks there, they look like Krieg.
Mm-hmm.
There was the Armageddon Steel Legion, which was basically what Krieg was sort of spun off from years later, which they had to wear gas masks because Armageddon's atmosphere is slightly poisonous. So, either they look pretty cool.
Okay, wait. Say that again. The Kriegs were a spin-off of the.
Yeah, well, back in the 90s, they brought out some metal miniatures, which had like the gas mask, and they were for a force that they had, the Armageddon Steel Legion,
Okay.
and it was like a mechanized Imperial Guard unit.
Yeah, I think I even remember seeing some of that.
Yeah, so when you
Okay,
used to pick up
interesting.
your infantry, you'd have like your infantry platoons, but then you could have a mechanized element. So they came in like a squad of 10 in the Chimera, as a
Yeah.
sort of thing, and the Steel Legion was like the flagship unit that they based them on. But then later on, Fourth World started doing, Krieg, who were,
Yeah.
definitely you look at them and go, well, they're like how the Steel Legion aesthetic with the gas mask and the helmet sort of
Yeah.
thing. then with a little bit of like World War One thrown in.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, the whole Krieg Forge, I think, was very, very popular. And especially like because you get all the big sort of thud guns and
Oh
broad.
yeah, yeah.
But the Krieg Rough Riders were really cool because they were on these like cyber horses. So the horses looked like they had gas masks and stuff.
Yeah, I painted one of those. That was one of the ones in the White Dwarf I got in there. Was those with the gas masks on the horses? Those are awesome.
Yeah, I did fancy doing Krieg, but just never materialised.
Yeah,
Titans are the way.
can't do them all.
I'll try to.
Yeah, you definitely do.
But I started another one the other day, so I'm on my 101st, and I don't know. I just didn't have the motivation for it. Maybe I burnt myself out with Titans.
Yeah, yeah. You might want to, if it feels like it. It may be like a little bit of a break time just to refresh your battery or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's a
Uh,
lot of work. That is a lot. No way around it. Just like assembling them all and all that kind of stuff. And
yes. Old Loco was right at the beginning of Clayton College.
yeah, I had the original stuff only like once or twice, and that was pretty crazy. I
Mm.
was never much of a drinker. I'll have a little
There was
bit, but then I just get tired. And I'm at the age where like I have 2 drinks. I'm like, man, let me go to sleep. Like the day's over. I'm done.
there
I
was
never have to worry about being an alcoholic because I'd just always be napping.
obviously over here that like the drinking culture of when you was like a teenager was to get the cheapest alcohol possible and
Yeah,
drunk as quick as possible.
for
Uh,
sure.
and there was one called White Lightning, which was a side, and that was very popular back in those days, those early days. And it was one of my friends, Scott, that was telling us a story about his dad, who basically, I don't know if he was having some sort of like midlife crisis or something, and he actually drank a 3 litre bottle of this White Lightning on his own.
Oh, dude.
And Scott found him like mostly naked, apart from his pants, laying out on the floor in the back garden with an empty 3 litre bottle of White Lightning. Um, and he was basically saying like, I, I am, I am Aztec. I am the sun. That's everything he got out of him. So that's what that stuff can do to you.
Mechanical Frog said if I drank alcohol, I couldn't buy as many plastic toys. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, you go here and I don't know, you just go to some bar, beer. I don't know what, like $5-6 sometimes, and like some mixed drink is almost like $10. They'll talk about like miniatures being priced. I'm like, okay, if you go and have a couple mixed drinks, you're at like $20-30 just for like 2 or 3 drinks, and it's gone. It's like, yeah, I guess it's all relative.
Or you get drunk and then you wake up in the morning realizing you've been on the Forge World website.
The worst of both worlds.
Yeah, it's easily done. Whoops! I dropped this into my basket.
You know.
But yeah, in a way, that's how I look at it. Is that yeah, you can go out and get absolutely, as we like to say, or I used to like to say, rat-arsed on a selection of alcoholic beverages. But all you get is a headache and maybe some vomiting if you go the wrong route. Yeah, I remember at one of the second to last Black Library, 2018
Yeah.
weekend that I went to. I think I spent around about £200 on alcohol over 2 days.
Yeah.
I was buying rounds and stuff with like my mates and authors and stuff. I was actually dragged away at one stage. I think you better go to bed. Go back to where you were staying. because otherwise it's just going to get messy. I was all up for it. But
The booze talking.
yeah, yeah. But that's I'm not an angry drunk. I'm a happy, friendly drunk sort of thing.
Oh
That's
yeah, if
all.
I'm a drink, I'm a feel good, happy. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's me. Just like, oh, of course, the puppy's in here. They know. The dogs know when you stream. Animals know.
yeah. Well, I had a cat in here just before I came on.
They
There's not one as the other.
don't like missing out on attention. They're like, something's going on, and we're not involved.
Hmm. So I see you're doing a few more sort of group paintings now. Are you spreading it?
Yeah, I'm trying because plus two with some of the Mantic stuff. A lot of those are multi, unit pictures. So
Hmm.
it comes down to practice too. It's like, all right, you're going to be doing some of those, so try some things out on these, and then see if you can translate, a better version. That's what another reason why I was like messing with some of the lighting on this is I want to. It's like I feel like I'm halfway there on how I handle the lights and stuff, but there's seems like it's something a little bit like there's a little technique that if I just like figured it out, it seems like they would be cooler looking. So I'm just trying to figure that. I've been going more on YouTube and looking up a lot of the good like the really good photoshoppers, and like so I've been studying more into that and seeing how they're tackling some of the problems. It was pretty funny because I never looked at any of that stuff, especially for like the paintover type things. And
Hmm.
I did notice when I watched it, they were using like a lot of the same layers for the same effects and everything. So I was like, all right, cool. You got that stuff similar, so a lot of the other things will translate. And puppy, hang on, go do that in a minute.
I think far left, the one at the front, needs a bit more beam in his light.
I love the spears too.
Hmm.
Like, what are you fighting with that spear? You're gonna drive in the far future and take that spear to somebody? Gotta love it.
This is the 41st millennium. This is where we
Yeah.
write lights to spear
It's like
people, not
perfect. That's why I love the whole like just grim dark thing with this, because it pulls it off. It's like you're in a spear with a motorbike going against like some crazed huge orc. Good luck with that.
yes. Although with the new Kill Team release, we've got some Orc Commandos,
Yeah,
and they look very nice.
there's definitely some cool minis with that, and I saw a little bit, what they were talking about with how they're changing their rules, system for it and everything. So I'll be curious, how that all plays out.
It's quite annoying because I bought a lot of like the rule books and other bits and pieces that I've never played.
Yeah. Art dev. See, that's the same as me. He says, I love any futuristic setting where you've got essentially hand nukes, but you also hit people with a sword. It's very true. It's like it's that what the juxtaposition or the contrast. It's almost like art where it's like, okay, you get that contrast.
It's always reminds me of see that little segment there. It reminds me of June
It does.
because of the whole reason why they use blades in.
Yeah,
Um,
I always thought that was one of the best ways to handle it because for the slow shield. I was like, oh,
yep.
that's such a great way around it. Wait, I'm going to pause for 1 second, go give the dog something.
Oh, doggy treat. I need the grok kill team after seeing that little guy. He is rather special, that dude. Oh, you've just been rereading Dune. Excellent. You'll fit right in here, Archdev. we love a bit. Sorry, because I've been rushing around today. Just finishing off my dinner. The scene where they use las guns on a shield and it causes a huge explosion is great. Exactly. So that's why they instigated the treaty amongst the great houses of the Landsraad, because using of atomics anyway was bad, and the Holtzman effect when you shoot a laser into a shield causes obviously thermonuclear detonation, but it also travels back down the line and kills the shooter. So that does put a little bit of a spin on things. But yeah, it's where you have all that sort of, it gives you a reason why these people are going around using sort of like crisp knives and poison blades in combat, because most of the time they're wearing personal shields, which I'm interested to see how they're going to do that in the new film, because obviously in the David Lynch or Alan Smithy one that he did in 83, 84. Obviously, the graphics they had at the time, that was pretty, like, we thought, wow, that's pretty cool. But even in the books, it is just like a slight field that's like coats the skin almost. So it's not as obvious, just like a little glittering. I suppose like a Twilight vampire, really, where it sort of shimmers.
Oh, Archdev just reread Dune. I never read Dune. One of these days, I should actually read it.
Or audiobook it.
Oh, you are smart, Lee. Look at that. My co-host is a genius.
The only problem is you've got because it's a double trilogy, so a set
Yeah,
couplet.
yeah.
So you've got all of them on Audible, but book 7 and 8, which was written by James Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson, hasn't appeared as of yet on Audible.
Oh, that's
So,
right. Because on Audible, I still got some credits. Cool.
well, there you go. Time to tune out, baby.
Did you, Archdev? Just curious. Did you ever? It was on some cheesy, like it wasn't that cheesy though. I mean, it was looking back, but it was like the Children of Dune, and it was on the Sci-Fi Channel. Did you ever watch that one, Archdev? I'm gonna switch to this one for a bit.
With a young James McAvoy. Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
the
bit different.
the Ratkin from, I think it's a Ratkin, and I wanted to do the pink. So I wanted these got the little bit of pink on there, and I wanted the green canisters to glow on this. And I'm not that familiar with their lore kind of thing on the Ratkin. I was like, well, I'll just play with some colors, get something going on here to spark some ideas. I love the
Yeah,
slime on the, you know what I mean? I don't know what they were using to get that, but it sure looks cool.
it's a little bit drippy.
Just a little bit drippy.
Yeah, the film's only the first half of the book. Yeah, it was. I believe the first film's gonna end after they meet Stilgar and the Fremen. That's where I believe it's gonna end.
Oh, I could see that because that's probably a good spot for it to.
Because obviously with the David Lynch one, there was so much more that was missed out from
Yeah.
the whole setup, the travelling to June, what happened when they first got there as well. Because there are lots of stuff like Duncan Idaho coming in drunk and having a go at Lady Jessica, and the whole
Oh,
like
yeah.
Liet Kynes But yeah, that would be a natural sort of cut off there, because then the sort of the tempo flips after they meet the Fremen. So it would be a good point. But yeah, Children of June. Yeah, it was Sci-Fi Channel done that, and oh, June Messiah, I believe.
Yeah, they did a couple, and it was just something that back in the day it was like interesting that they put it on
Hmm.
TV. I was like, hey, at least they were trying. I mean, especially like sci-fi television back then. They didn't have the same budgets or anything.
Hmm. Yeah, and again, with Archdev saying about curious to see who was playing Fade, but he's not listed in the credits. And I saw it was only from past. Yeah, that was the thing. Is no Fade. I think that will probably be most of the second book when like the Baron is back on Giddy Prime, and he's basically doing Baron stuff. Um,
I don't know how jaded I'm gonna be because those characters, it was like one of those super influential films and everything. So I don't know if it's like one of those where it's too big in my mind, and it's like I'll look at some new character, and be like, I do like, um, was it Momoa or whatever? I think I was like, okay, that one's cool, and I don't know if I'll just have a problem with it just because of the aesthetic and stuff. So I'm cautiously optimistic. Like, yeah, I want to see it, but I'm like, man, you're redoing like a classic. So good luck.
yeah, but that's the thing, because I think most of the people of our generation only really know Dune because of the David Lynch movie,
Absolutely, I would say
which was an adaptation.
there's a mix, but I would say a good fair chunk. Like that was me. I heard of the book at the time, never read it, but I only got familiar with it because I watched the movie. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. So like with, um, I read the book Dune when I was must have been about 18, because I found it
Yeah,
in the
yeah. You
street.
told me last week that was cool. Yeah, found
Yeah,
Dune.
so I got that, and then I found the rest of them at a car boot sale, which is like a garage sale, but lots of people turn up with their cars in the field, and you buy stuff out of them. So I basically got the first book for free, and the other five, I got for about £2. So I was pretty
Yeah.
pleased with that, and I read them and enjoyed them. I find my favourites are actually the last two, which was Heretics of June and Chapter House June. But my
Okay.
personal favourites, I liked God Emperor June because it was so big, and it explains a lot. And if you actually read the June books, you'll actually have a very good understanding about 40k and the Emperor, um,
Yeah.
because he's basically doing what Leto II was doing, which was following a golden path, as he says, which was to guide humanity um, through all the precipices and dangers of the universe to
Hmm.
become more. But yeah, no, Momoa, because when he was cast, I thought, because I like Jason Momoa, he's obviously
Yeah.
not Aquaman, but I watched a few of the other things like on Amazon, like Frontier. There was one on Apple as well, which
Yep.
was where he's a blind, uh,
Hmm.
so he's got really good hearing. Um, that was actually quite enjoyable. Can't remember the name of it. I think it was just Noise or something like that. But because of the whole old was it Richard Chamberlain? No, it wasn't Richard Chamberlain. Robert, no, oh, I can't remember the guy who played um, now Duncan Idaho in the original one was obviously
Oh,
blonde.
yeah, because he was kind of a classic. I can't remember his name either, but
Yeah, he's
I see
definitely
his
been.
face right now.
Yeah, as I say, Archdev, he has sci-fi experience because he was in Stargate Atlantis, so that's where obviously I first saw him. I watched a couple of seasons of
Oh
Atlantis.
gosh, wait, I didn't even
Mm.
think of that. I think now I can picture it. I never watched much Atlantis, but I think, oh yeah, didn't. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
look at that because it'll snap me too. Wow, I learn something every time on this show.
yeah. See, it's a learning experience. But he
Learn
actually
some
filmed,
obscure trivia fact every time on this show.
he actually does fit the description of Duncan Idaho, which was like a a dark-haired, dark-eyed, quite handsome um, chap. But he was pretty good with a sword.
Yeah,
But yeah, definitely. That's why I'm primary. Duncan, because most people only watching the film
yep,
only know Duncan for that brief spell he's in there. But I think he got a bit shortchanged in that movie, in the Lynch movie, because he has more of an impact. He's a very close friend as well as a tutor to Paul.
yeah,
Uh, and he was a fantastic warrior. And obviously, they didn't really give him the gravitas that he deserved, as he does in the
yeah,
book, because he's like, he shuts the door and fights the Sardaukar sort of thing.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and Skarsgård as the Baron is definitely something to sort of look at. Like, even we've only seen him like appearing out of some sort of like bath water. Um,
yeah, yeah,
Colonel Kurtz look about him from Apocalypse Now. But
yeah.
again,
It
that was
was.
about the Baron. He wasn't maybe like the most beautiful looking dude, but
Yeah,
you know, he had the smarts and the subtlety to manipulate and stuff. But he was a grotesque person because of how things turned out for him, I suppose. Stellan Skarsgård, yeah. Because I've been a big fan of Stellan Skarsgård since Goodwill Hunting. So that's I've known of him since then.
and
'Cause,
I think too, like I'm gonna have a hard bias because that scene where they wheel in that the thing in the glass case and they're all sweeping the floor from all the
yeah,
slime. That was such a monumental scene to me. I'm like, there's like nothing you're gonna do in this movie that's gonna come close to that. Like, and I feel bad because I'm not like a hater where I'm like, well, oh, you're doing, it's stupid or whatever. Like, I want to give it a chance, but it's like it's things like that where I'm like, man, that was such a monumental kind of like scene in my head. I was like, wow, what is this tripped out? Like they're all just sweep. I love that they're sweeping like the sludge, but then it just leaves it all there anyway. Like,
he was not here.
yeah, the navigator.
He was not here. This didn't happen. But that's as I say, the stage 3 guild navigator, and that was full Lynch there. He does
Mm,
like a monstrosity every now and again. Even like with Brad Dourif, because like you've got all the staples of David Lynch, like Brad Dourif, Everett McGill, Jack Nance,
yeah,
in there. Carl McLachlan as well, which all four of them have been in several of his projects over the years. But like you can tell it's a David Lynch film because like when Brad Dourif as Piter de Vries is giving the orders to Jack Nance to take the person out away and dump him into the desert, as the traitor suggested. He's doing the whole hand gestures, which was a big thing for um,
yeah,
his face. But all those characters, I say, I love them anyway, and I always loved David Lynch's work, because it was so out,
yeah.
pushed boundaries.
But yeah, and especially if you're one who read the book first, you're going to be like looking at the Lynch movie and be like, well, that's not the book. You know what I mean? So I could totally see how that plays out too.
Yeah, but I think if you before was it 22nd of October? I think it's released in the cinemas. Um, if you start going through it like Audible and just listening to
Yeah,
Dune, because then Villeneuve is sticking closer to the book than anything.
yeah.
So, it'll be a little bit more. I had read the book first and then was a bit confused with the film. Yeah, so that's the thing, because it's people's interpretation, because the whole thing, like the still suits are different to how still suits are meant to look in, like if you remember the old book covers of the old Dune book, they were always wearing like robes, sort of thing. That was like
Yeah.
covered over their sort of suits and stuff. Although that the still suits from Dune are iconic in their own right. So as I said, it's an adaptation of you know of the book, and it's a second attempt at doing it. So, but I have high hopes of Villeneuve. So Denis
Yeah,
Villeneuve.
it's definitely a cool. You can try some good stuff in there.
Hmm.
And it's cool because if people did, a lot of people did read the book and liked it, so maybe they'll be happy with something a little closer.
And I say later in the year, you've also got Foundation on Apple Plus coming
Oh,
out.
that's what. Okay, that's the. Was it
Isaac.
Isaac Asimov? Oh yeah, yeah. So I was curious how that's going to go down.
Hmm. But they've got what's his Jared Harris in it, and Jared Harris, he just whatever he's in, he's amazing, and he's believable, and you can just watch him, and
Yeah.
he just is that person, is that character. Um, so I'm assuming he's playing the Harry. Can't remember the surname now. Will come to me. The main character that sets up the whole sort of the wheels turning for
Gotcha.
nation, um, with his sort of his sort of psychology. Like they're like psychologists, mathematicians, sort
Mm-hmm.
of, where they're able to sort of like predict like the trends of the empire that's existed for thousands of years. And he's able to sort of say, look, we've got to do this now because the empire's going to collapse soon. And if we don't,
Okay.
humanity will be in the dark for 30,000 years. But if we do this thing now, they'll only be in the dark for 1,000 years.
Okay, so that's kind of the premise of that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's Saden, I think, or Harry, something like that.
Yeah, he's trying to save them, and then all this stuff probably happens.
Yeah, but it's all like like mathematicians, psychology. You can't predict individual movements, but you can predict the mass
Yeah.
movements of things. Harry Seldon. That's it. Thank you, Archdev. So yeah, he's playing the main man sort of thing, who starts the ball rolling with Foundation. But even like, because I listened to Foundation last year, um, so there's three original books. I think there
Oh,
is like
okay.
revisit later on, but three main books, and it does sort of cover the vast majority of the time, that of the 1,000 years. So whatever the fourth one is, I haven't done.
Gotcha. His Google foo is sharp.
It's very impressive. Thank you very much, Archdev.
I was like, "Hey, we got another genius in here, and he's been using Google, but it counts in my book."
I could have done that, but I'm watching the chat on my phone.
I wonder.
Yeah, that was a very in-depth site because Asimov was like so prolific with writing books. He was just like bang, 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 and like he's the grandfather of like science fiction, uh,
Yeah.
to what most people look to. So him, um, Frank Herbert, who he was a geologist,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just saw this thing where he was studying sand flows of these dunes out in America, North America somewhere, I think, how they sort of shifted, and it just got him thinking, and next minute he's writing a sci-fi novel.
Yeah, that's a trip.
But yeah, it's crazy how these things happen.
Sometimes you just got to do it. Oh, what are you snacking on?
I've got my little favourites. Was it? No, wrong
Wait,
side.
other way.
Yeah.
Wham. Wait, I should zoom in. Wham. Wait, I'm zooming in. Hang them there. Keep them there for a second. I got to see this. We're going to go here. Wham Softies. Okay, I did see those. So those are what, like they're chewy, I assume?
Yeah, sort of um, not
Like a
they're not.
Starburst? Have you ever had a Starburst?
Yeah. These are like a foamy, like chewy sweetie.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I don't know what the equivalent is in America, because I haven't experimented with this
Yeah.
type of foamy chewy that you have. But it's got a sour sort of coating on it.
Okay.
So in comparison to Warheads, these are a little bit more sour.
Okay, they have more of a kick.
Oh, definitely. I haven't found in my adventures in your American sweetie confectionery world.
Anything that's similar to it?
No, no. do they wake up? These, if you put multiple ones of these into your mouth, Archdev, yes, you will wake up before you go.
Do they wake you up before you go?
Yeah, they're so nice, so nice. I could easily destroy a bag. I love them. Poisonous. That glow is looking exceptionally glowy.
I know, I'm going to have to tone it down, but for now.
No, I like it. I like it.
I want it a little bit. I don't know how he's got them painted. They're real light and kind of, they're not like super whatever kind of pustules or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I want to go with maybe it's like, I don't know, like magic infected or something. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a soft glow to it or whatever.
Yes. Oh, Toffee
Did you?
Trolls here.
I gotta. You didn't see this picture, did you? Let me switch. I want to show you. So someone, hey Toffee Troll, glad you could swing by though. I'm gonna
Oh, he's here.
switch
A friend as
screen.
well. Hi, friend.
Yeah, tell a friend I said hi too.
Yeah.
We're gonna switch. We go here. Bam, bam. Wait, nope.
Oh,
Bam,
Chris
bam.
Tucker's.
Yeah. So this submitted this one, but check this pic out. I may have to have him try to get like look at this. That is such a cool angle. So I want almost like the one he submitted, but a photo. So the same kind of front 3/4 view, but the camera looking up like this. I one of those full size ones because you don't see photos like this too much. And I want to see if I can get, do the huge buildings behind them of like the whole, on some of the covers and all that. So I kind of want to see if you would get, this basically the same angle, but way underneath, like slide that camera under and look up at it. And it might be able to get like a really cool one.
Do you know I was doing my little Photoshop thing the other day?
Yeah.
I've been doing another one for the last day or so.
Oh,
And
look at you go.
It's not, well, one of the pictures I used is not from, it is from a lowish angle, not as low as that one, sorry. But yeah, it was, I've been piddling about with it for the last literally 24 hours.
That's cool.
Yeah, just trying to get the looks right, putting some
because that one came out really good. Like for I don't think you mess with Photoshop that much, but it came out really sharp. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't.
So I used to obviously, what you do is on a different level to. I'm just literally just like sticking on Photoshop and changing filters and look.
Yeah, and but it's really all it's like that's all you kind of need. Like, I think a lot of it translates. Like painting, how you paint and how you try to do light, I think on the paint overs is very much similar, and I think if people see it that way and you can kind of see it in your brain that way, it'll help, and it's one of those things where it just has to translate, and it's like, okay, I get to see it all the time and I'm like, okay, this works like this, so let me just kind of build off that. And most, like, you paint really cool miniatures and stuff, so you got all the stuff there, you know what I mean? You don't have to like reinvent the wheel. It's like put it in the cool atmosphere. And
I've just seen you over a couple of variants of what I've been doing. So
okay, cool.
I just said I was on your Twitter.
Okay, good, you did do it on Twitter.
Yeah. So
all right. Oh wow. Here, wait, I'll pull them up. Oh, you went hardcore. Here, let me pull that one up. Oh, I keep doing it wrong. Here, look at that thing. Oh, wait, here we go. That's cool. You got some good lighting on it. You got the nice front lighting.
See the thing on the back there.
Yeah.
So we're because the latest Siege novel, Mortis, this was inspired by that. But they were saying, well, I was taking photographics. I was taking photos of my big dude the other week. I was
yeah.
trying to get the angles. As you know, I like to get the angles.
Yeah, for sure.
And just trying to get them sort of a little bit under. So that one's obviously clear with the void shield impact.
Yeah, I dig that void shield on it.
So it's 3 separate apps I was using to get that. So it's Photoshop, there's Wordle,
Okay.
and FX one on my iPhone.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to get around, obviously, the light source in there. It says the one at the back there where he's just going supernova.
Yeah. No, this one, the shield, I'm gonna have to steal that. That's a good one on there. I like it.
Yeah, so I'm still just like piddling about with.
That's another good photo angle and stuff too. Is really.
But that's the thing. It's like where all our regulars here, they know how to get good angles. They should have by now.
Well, yeah, that's what I keep seeing everyone's like photos, and they're like more and more on point, kind of as far as like what helps me. It's like, oh, this background's nice and clear, so I can do it, and then it's got the good, exciting angles.
All about the angles and the sparkles.
It is all about the angles, though. I definitely struggle to take good photos of my models, ArchDev said. I'm gonna break out the ones I bought and start photographing, because I seem like I'm. What's amazing to me is I'll get lucky with some photos once in a while, but I take the most basic. My eye. I'll do really good on like drawing composition and doing paintovers. I'll compose all this stuff, but then you go tell me to take like an interesting photo, and it's like, here is a flower, and it's like a flower in the center with the thing. Here is a bird, and it's a bird in the center. It's like I couldn't take more boring photos, and so that one to me is like, oh my gosh. And then when I do like the creative angle, because I have taken a couple I liked of miniatures with the lighting and stuff, it's always like I don't have enough patience with my photography. I'm like, oh, I'll just snap it, and it's kind of like rough. I don't like set the nice stuff up and control the lighting a little better and stuff. So I kind of rush it too much. I gotta practice some myself. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, all right, I'm going to send you over this other one that I took. You'll probably like. Well, this is not. This is not a what do you call it? a Photoshop. This is the base picture of the
Okay.
Titan. I've lost it. Where is it? Oh, there it is. All right, so I just sent that over to you. So it's the same sort of
Oh
thing as.
wow. Yeah, I dig that one. Let me see. How come it's not? There we go. Oh, see, like, I'm gonna pop that one up. Look at this. Whoever's viewing, this is cool. Bam. That's a good forced angle. Is there a like camera like not lens but like wide angle focused or like something like that? Or what did you take this with?
I think with this one, because on my phone, I can do a like half magnification. So like
Okay.
normally I can go further like telephoto as well, but this one's only a 0.5, so it gives you a very sort of I can put the phone quite.
Yeah, no, that's perfect for a Titan, dude. Or I'm gonna paint this one over too. That thing's epic because it makes that front foot. It gives it the feet. It gives it that 40K feel to me, like that forced
Yeah,
perspective
that's
draw. It's like boom, and that's coming down, and yeah, that's like
because I was taking photos because that weapon on its left, well, facing or facing us, its left arm, the long one,
yeah,
um, furthest. That's the. I just finished painting that the other day, so I wanted to take some pictures of it with its
yeah. I'm
new.
gonna have to put that one up on the thing too as another good example of like photos. I might have to use that if you don't mind, just in the thing of like, hey, because
Yeah, no,
that's a real strong composition and
because it does sort of remind me of the old. I think I mentioned it before. There was a in I think the original sort of like epic rule book where it had like little like drawings of art and stuff like that. And there was this one where I remember had a couple of orcs in like this observation post, like with
mm-hmm.
bunkers, a pair of binoculars looking, and the two orcs behind the boss were like tapping them on the shoulder because there's a huge warlord titan just behind them,
Yeah.
just walking along. Uh, I have a camera, but it picks up too much detail. Perhaps I need to learn how to use it properly. I use my phone for my pics. Are you using an iPhone, Rob, or is it an Android type phone? I
Most
actually,
phones, to be honest, I mean, I guess unless you're really like trying for actual high end photography, but if for my uses in particular, like you don't even, it helps, but it's like it doesn't, as long as it's not blurry, is probably like the main thing for like paint overs. You know what I mean?
yeah, because that can actually detract from the work. If you're not getting that, you want to have the detail
Mm-hmm.
if you can, because obviously if you've got the detail, you can sort of like phase it out, blur it out, or
Yes.
it sort of thing. But if you haven't got it in the first place, then it makes it harder to make it look better in that
Yeah,
respect.
that's it. You can't focus on anything because it's blurred or whatever. You know what I mean? Where like when I'm doing paint overs, the things I add light and I leave detail on the things I want to draw focus to. You know, if they're close or you want to draw focus, it's like that's the thing you leave unblurred or whatever and make a little brighter.
Mm. Rob's not a fan of iPhone.
See, I was Android forever on everything, and I hated the idea of Apple until when I had to pick up my iPad because my Cintiq broke down. And then ever since then, it's been rapidly Apple because it's so damn smooth. It is just silky smooth. Like when I have to share files between my tablet and my phone, it's just like AirPlay. It's like ding, 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 ding. And it's like it goes back and forth really quick and nothing's like freezing up. That was the other thing. Like using the iPad, it like quote unquote never crashes. You know what I mean? I'm like, I always have this thing running. I'm always like, just leave it. I don't have to save it. So it
Yeah, that's what happened. I basically got stuck in the fact that with iTunes in particular, I bought Music and stuff
Oh, that'll get you.
because it's all there. You just like, between.
Yeah,
I think this is probably my fifth or sixth iPhone I've had.
really. Yeah. See, I only have like an iPhone 8. So I got one. I only got an iPhone maybe a year and a half ago or whatever, and I just bought an older one because like, well, I had Android, and I was like, well, I think I knew the photo album would be the same on my phone as on my tablet. And that's kind of the real reason I got it. I was like, oh, yeah, I want to save something on my tablet and then I can just pull it right up on my phone, with no like interference or sending or any of that. And that's kind of the reason I ended up getting an iPhone.
Yeah, I would say I've been with it for many years now, and it's just easy for me. I do
Hmm.
everything, like all my like Photoshop stuff. I just do off my phone.
Yeah.
Everything is on there. If I didn't have a phone, I would be absolutely useless. Um, but no, one
See?
of my good mates is a huge like anti-Apple as well, and he's Android as well. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you just stick with what you're used to.
And what was the other thing? I think the new iPads, and I'm so like close to pulling the trigger on one, but I'm like, I would have to get like the fully maxed out one, right? Well, I wouldn't have to, but I know I would because I learned my lesson by not getting enough space and everything on this iPad, where it's like, okay, if you're going to use it for work, you might as well get all the, space, and I would need the processing power because I think on the new iPad you can use full Photoshop now, like the full Photoshop on the M1 on the iPad, and I'm like, huh. So just the fact that I could get that on my tablet, and I would still end up using Procreate, but for a few things for like lighting and stuff, just to be able to have a full Photoshop. And I'm like, I wouldn't have to like go to my desk, you could just pull it right up on your tablet. So I've really been pondering that for a while now.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's like sometimes you tell you. But I used to be well before Android. I only bought phones for their cameras basically, and I was
Yeah. Yeah.
Ericsson was my main fix because they had the CyberShot
I
cameras.
could see that.
They were really good. But again, you had, like macros, they can do like the small scale stuff and all that. But then, as I say, I got onto the iPhone probably around about 2012 ish.
Okay. Yeah. That's a while. Yeah.
Ever since. So they give me what I want for my sort of needs.
Yeah.
So yeah, it works for me in that respect. I did just with my service provider gave me a text come through saying, take advantage of this by midnight tomorrow night. You get Apple Music for free for 6 months. So I thought, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I can't cancel it, and I got that. So basically, I can just access whatever songs I want now. So I basically just started
Yeah.
playing Pink Floyd, going through their back catalogue, the Beatles, going through their back catalogue, REM, and just like literally, I fancy listen to this person. Just search, there you go.
It makes it a lot easier when you have that.
Oh, definitely, yeah. But listen to albums I don't no longer have anymore, or like I'm not. I think in my sort of CD collection, I probably had around about maybe 2,000 songs, something like that
Yeah.
maximum. But I can't remember where my. Oh, actually, I might know where my CD collection is. But who plays CDs anymore?
Yeah, I should have. I was dumb. I got rid of this one computer because someone needed it. But I had a friend back in the Napster days. Oh God, they recorded I don't
Oh,
know how many, like tens of thousands of songs, like legit. Like went through it over the course of years and was downloading all this. And then they had the whole extra one and like had it all on their computer. And then I bought the computer off of them with all the songs. You know what I mean? It's like a
oh,
catalog of 10,000 songs.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
wild west of Napster.
My boss is a huge music fan. He doesn't really watch a lot of telly. He watches a lot. He listens to a lot of music though, and like CDs you buy all the time. But now it's just download, download, download.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's online or whatever nowadays. So he loves his music, which is oh god, Napster.
What year
Yeah,
was
well,
Napster? What
Napster.
when was that? I don't even remember when Napster was really a thing. I mean, I've used it and all that. I just can't.
90s, start 2000s.
So what? Mid 2000s, maybe
Yeah,
earlier.
just
Seems
listen to
about
music.
right.
Yeah, I do that as well. But I like videos. Music videos are always good. Um, so, what was the last one I was listening or watching, listening to? Um, the last song I was listening to, the last two songs I was listening to on my YouTube search, "Bird of Prey" by Fatboy Slim.
Yeah,
I love that video, and obviously because it's a mix of the Doors' "Bird of Prey"
yeah.
and "Waiting for You" by Seal. Uh, and the other things I've searched recently was pulse rifle launcher test fitting, Tech lore, the Galactica's last jump, um, and Mech 2 Ghost Bears intro, which is one of the best intros ever.
Oh gosh, Archdev must be using those Google skills. He said Napster came out in 1999 and the last version of it
Yeah.
was released in 2002. Okay, so it was totally the tail end of the 90s. Then gosh, I'm old.
End of the millennium, at the start of the
Of the
next millennium.
millennium. At the end of the millennium.
It was a time of
Yeah.
darkness.
Wait, what
It
was the
was a time without music.
Yeah, Napster was pretty crazy.
I say, going back a few years,
Oh,
another thing that I like looking up on YouTube, apart from Battlestar Galactica sort of bits, and June, that Spice Diver
yep.
um, version, there was the original advert for the computer game Space Marine.
Okay.
It had, that was done about 2010, 2011, I think it was, or 2012. And you have Lance Henriksen on there, and you have Trisha, who plays Caprica 6 in Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Various people appearing, describing what it's like to be a space marine. And you have this like prison dude in his orange jumpsuit saying, "I can fly like an eagle." But I love watching that. There's like a couple of adverts I like watching. That, and there was this sweetie one, which um, it's sort of fizzy gummy sweets that were made from like natural ingredients, and
Yep.
they had a whole campaign where they had you know like these little gummy bear sweets, little gummy snakes, and they're having conversations and stuff. And this advert's got this gummy snake talking about, we're all made of really nice ingredients and stuff like that. And then suddenly this little gummy bear on top of like a book or something, just shouting out, "Bring on the trumpets!" And he's like, "What do you mean trumpet? Bring on the trumpets!" And that's all he says is, "Bring on the trumpets!" And I just found that hilarious.
I remember, and I think you could still do it if you had, and I kept my, I didn't know this. I had Windows XP and I kept that thing. I probably had it, I think maybe like 6 years ago. It was like the last time when I got rid of it or stopped working or whatever. And I redid it, but I should have never upgraded because if you have Windows XP, you can go on YouTube and rip a song right to an MP3 with the touch of a button.
Ah,
So like, and I used to have it. I'm like, and I couldn't understand. They were like, people were buying music. Like, why are you buying music? Like, I get it. Like, if you just support it, but like, if you're just listening to a couple songs and whatever, it was like, okay, well, click on it. And I was like, oh, dude, no, because no one has Windows XP anymore. I was like, why do you? I'm like, why are you? I went and I got the newer version. I'm like, oh gosh, I went to do it. I was like, oh, let me get this song, and I couldn't even find it anywhere. I was like, oh, they don't even give you that ability anymore.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing with technology. They'll stop us from having fun the best
Yeah.
and easiest way they can.
Because I never listen. I don't shoot. I don't even know when the last time I like bought music, because I don't really listen to music. You know what I mean? Like CDs. I got some music from back in the day. Some like Nine Inch Nails and Prodigy and stuff like
Oh,
that. But
Prodigy. Yeah,
nothing.
the Prodigy. They're sort of North Essex boys, so they're from my turf.
They're from your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I think like a couple of them used to live literally around about 15 miles away to the north from where I am.
Oh, wow.
Actually, maybe about 20 miles actually. That's called Braintree. But yeah, Max in Reality and Liam Howlett, I
Yeah,
think.
Liam. He is the prodigy.
Uh, and obviously Keith Flint, I don't think he was Nexus boy. I think he was
Oh yeah, that was a bummer.
uh, the Prodigy. Like when sort of like living when I first sort of moved out of London, came up into Essex. Obviously, the Prodigy were around. Like you had like Charlie and like Outer Space and a few other sort of songs of theirs. Um, but then again, I think they also did they have Voodoo People as well, which was on the soundtrack to one of the greatest films ever, Hackers.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I absolutely love the Prodigy. It's fantastic. I've seen them live as well, so totally worth it. When they released the Fat on the Land, Fat
Fat of the
of,
land. Yeah.
so late '90s, saw them at a gig only around about 10 miles away.
Oh yeah, that's a good time to have seen him too.
We like smacked the bitch up
Yeah.
and Firestarter when they really made it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's when they really made it big right then.
mm,
Kind of went
like
international and stuff.
oh, totally, yeah. The Chemical Brothers. Did you ever do them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome. Saw them at Glastonbury in 2000, which was amazing. Although that was my only time I've ever been to a big festival, because that year they actually stopped it. Said, "Oh, this will be the last one," and they was going to like Michael Eavis was going to stop them, and they stopped them for a couple of years, and then they brought them back again.
Oh.
But um, at that festival, it was a spur of the moment thing. Like my partner at the time said, "You've got some time off. Shall we go to Glastonbury?" Okay, and we got tickets, and we went to Glastonbury. And this was only like 2 weeks planning, you know. And, you couldn't get tickets that quick nowadays. Um, but David Bowie was playing.
Oh wow.
But on one of the other singers I wanted to see was actually Eagle Eye Cherry.
Oh yeah.
And I
Gosh, that's
say,
been a long time since I heard that
yeah.
name.
And he didn't show up. He didn't turn up on the Saturday. So like we're standing there on the main stage. Oh, he's not actually here. We got somebody else out, and we like thought, oh, I wanted to see him, because Save Tonight was like a massive
Yeah.
stop, you know, um, but he wasn't there. And then the next morning, there was a rumor going around that Bowie wasn't going to be there, and so we
No.
thought
Yeah.
he was meant to be headlining on the Sunday, and because we kept on hearing this rumor from people, oh yeah, Bowie's not here. We just thought, well, if Bowie's not going to be here, we might as well go home. So we packed up, left, sort of thing, got home, turned on the TV because they had coverage of Glastonbury on. Just
Yeah.
time to watch David Bowie take to the stage.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest regrets.
Well, I guess as big regrets go, that's a good one. If that's one of your biggest regrets, then good.
Yeah, yeah, not seeing Bowie live. I've seen lots of like different groups, Foo Fighters, and
Yeah, yeah, but David Bowie is David Bowie.
David Bowie. There was only one Thin White Duke, and that was him.
It's like David Bowie. I would he would have been cool. It would have been cool to see Queen
Mm.
with Freddie Mercury.
The only thing I regret about my age is not being around for all of these huge artists whilst they were performing. Yeah, so like Queen, like even if you like rewatch sort of Live Aid, which was their big, you know,
Yeah.
because Freddie Mercury was like he fed on the energy of the crowds, and that's the one thing about Live Aid. Everyone remembers Live
Oh, that
Aid.
Live Aid, that was like probably one of the best performances of all time by
Yeah,
anyone.
exactly. And they just like came on and actually just stole it. Uh,
Yeah.
and everyone remembers. I don't remember anyone else playing that thing.
No, no, that was like with him on Live Aid, that was like an iconic as it gets performance. It was like, yeah, it was,
You know,
yeah.
at their prime. But yeah, it was amazing.
And
Uh,
because of the whole online thing, the music industry and just everything is kind of different now. It's not like, and back then you didn't have access to every song online all the time.
but online didn't exist, did it?
Yeah. So it's just very different in how and why and its effect
I
on.
think that's what I like about the internet is able to sort of track down these old. I
Yeah.
actually watched this thing the other week, and it was Jimi Hendrix was doing a gig in London, and he was the first artist to cover the Beatles' Sergeant Pepper.
Oh, okay.
Sergeant Pepper had been out for 2 days.
Yeah.
Got the album, listened to it, and then on a Sunday night, like it came out on a Friday, and on the Sunday night his gig in London, he played Sergeant Pepper, and
That's
apparently,
funny.
like I think John and I think maybe Paul or it might have been George were in the crowd watching this young American, guitarist turn up, and
Yeah.
like they were like, "Hey, where did he? How did he learn our song?
Yeah.
He's been out for 2 days."
Yeah, he was one of my Jimi Hendrix was a favorite of mine. Archdev, he was already pretty far gone during that performance with AIDS, right? Yeah, I think he had it for a while, unfortunately, at
Yeah,
that point.
yeah. But that's the thing. Is like he's one of those larger than life characters that comes along once in a lifetime,
Yeah.
and he was just like Have you seen his the film Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah, actually I did.
Yeah. So you get a little glimpse about about Freddie and his life and what he went through and what he did and everything sort of thing. Uh, but it was just you know he's just one of those natural sort of forces of nature,
Yeah.
and the bigger the crowd, the bigger he
He rose
was.
to the occasion. Yeah,
Oh,
he was yeah, he was one that he rises to the occasion. That was for sure.
mm. But yeah, no, as I say, just and I can see why like you do get like younger people today, and they do listen to sort of like older music, and they do and they can see you know compared to like some of the modern artists you've got nowadays. Because I've been saying this for the last few years, where you'd get every now and again you'd get like a song that was like an anthem that
Yeah, yeah.
everybody across the generations would sing at like get-togethers and all that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
The last song that I know of over here at least anyway
Yeah.
that would be considered like an anthem. Now this is after Oasis with their earlier songs
Yeah.
like Wonderwall and all that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
But it was the re-release of Perfect Day they did back, I think, either end of the millennium, start of this millennium. They re-released Lou. Was it Lou Reed? No, it wasn't Lou Reed. Whoever done Perfect Day. Um, from Train. It was in Train Spotting as well.
Oh, train spot. Yeah.
It's such a perfect day, and they re-released that, and like at parties and everything, everyone would sing along to that, even though some people didn't know an idea where it came from. But that's the last song that I can remember, because there's not been any artists since then that has released, in my mind, a song that is all encompassing, that can sweep across everybody.
Yeah, yeah, you're good point. I would have to yeah, and it's one of those where it's like, okay, I would be curious, like, what are the people who are getting married and younger now, like, what do they play at their wedding songs? Because I always remember, like, the groups, there would be like so many of like people of my generation, like playing a few of the songs always at the wedding and stuff or whatever. I'm like, okay, what are they playing now? I'd be curious here.
Yeah, I never had like when I got married, I never had a song.
Yeah. They
um,
used to play, there's this one obscure one. Do you remember the song? It used to go like, what's going on? It's like, what's
oh,
going
well,
on?
oh,
Like,
yeah,
that was
that
like, wait,
uh,
say that again.
Four Non Blondes.
Yes. So that was played at like every wedding and stuff for I don't know how many decades. Like probably literally like 2 decades there for a while. It was like on
Oh,
every
yeah.
wedding.
We need your Google Foo. When did that one come out? When did Four Non Blondes? Uh,
When did
what's
it come out?
um,
We can
what's going on? When did that come out? I think
I want
that might have been the last one.
to seriously. Wait, let me think.
There was a TV series which I highly recommend, which was on Netflix called Sense 8, and that song features in there on a couple of occasions.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
it's a really good. It was made by the Wachowskis.
Okay.
1992. Jesus Christ,
See, I
that was
know
like.
it was it 92? Oh my god. Yeah, so that was
But yeah, yeah. If you're looking for something to watch, right, Sense 8
okay.
is a science fiction-y type thing set in a modern world, and it's different from most things, but the production values alone is why it got cancelled, because it cost so much money to do what they
Hmm.
were doing. Because the basis of Sense 8 is that amongst us, amongst humanity, there is another. There's you got Homo sapiens, and then you got Homo sensorium, and
Okay.
they are like. I'll see you later, Toffee Tro. Thanks for
Toffee,
dropping.
thanks for
And,
swinging by, Toffee. Appreciate it.
and yeah, these 8 people become suddenly through this thing that happens, suddenly become aware of each other.
Okay.
They're across the world. So like one's in America, one's in England, one's in India, one's in Seoul, one's in Africa, one's in Mexico, sort of thing. One's in Germany, and
Yeah.
they're all connected. And there's another one in America as well. But they're all connected. They're all from different walks of life. You know, one's a copper, one's a hacker,
Yeah.
one's a underground sort of dude, safe cracker. Um, one's a businesswoman who has a sideline in martial arts because she's from Seoul. But they can interact with each other.
Okay.
So, say for instance, you're in a situation where you're trying to hack, um, trying to break into a safe.
Yeah.
Like, like they're trying to listen to to turning it and all that.
Yeah.
And one of these sensoriums is like a DJ, and she's got really good hearing. It's like
Okay.
she's going, "Oh yeah, you want to go to the left a bit," and like you can see her. She's not there, but you can see her.
You
And then,
just like sharing their abilities, basically.
yes,
Kind of. Okay.
they can show
Okay.
your ability. So like one of the African guy is a bus driver, and he gets into trouble with one of these African gangs, and the Korean woman basically turns up as he's just been like beaten up a bit. This
Yeah.
Korean woman comes over and goes, "Okay, I'll take it from here." So, and she starts, and you see her kicking their asses, and
But it's him doing it.
kicking their asses,
Yeah.
and he's seeing her. And that was the whole thing about the production value, is that they film it in Seoul, and then they got to fly her to Africa to be in
Oh
that scene, or fly
God.
back to Germany to be in Mexico.
Oh,
So
that's like a filming nightmare then. Yeah.
yeah, but the story, everything about it is beautiful. There's a bit naughty at times.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of ooh la la. Um, yeah, but it's definitely worth it. I really enjoyed it. So they've done 2 series and a movie, because when it got cancelled, the fans that loved it all sort of got in there, was trying to raise awareness and everything. And Netflix said, "Okay, here's some money, do a movie."
Yeah.
And that it makes it a complete thing then. But it's really, really good. I highly recommend it.
Good to know. He said Archdev says he born in '92.
Jeez, man. 17.
That's what I so in the Discord I'll chat with like Mal and that, and they were in their like mid 30s, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I am like, and we're talking, and then I realize I'm 50% like older than them. What I mean? Like, oh my gosh, like I'm another, like, I'm like, oh god, way to feel super old.
Yeah, no, that's the thing though. It's like, I know, like, people like you get youngsters looking at you and going, "Oh man, you're old," sort of thing. But the problem is, inside we're not. I'm still 19.
Well, that's I okay. See, that's why I'm so glad I'm not the only one. That was another thing about this whole community, is because I still just want to like play with this stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, apparently I didn't grow up. Like I didn't like, nothing happened where I'm just like, something changed. I'm like, I still like all this stuff that I liked when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like there's no, I mean, you have a little more experience with stuff, but like nothing really changed. You know what I mean? I'm like, nothing's, and I'm like, oh gosh, if this is what I'm like now, I don't see me growing up anytime soon. It's like,
That's the thing. We don't have to grow up. We can stay as we are. We're just basically, we're still those teenage Wallies,
yeah.
just in older packaging. Slightly battered sort of thing. We may have learned a few other like little tricks along the way, but and that's the thing. Is like, if you could go back to being like yourself, but as a 21-year-old, how dangerous would that be?
Oh, that's the, yeah, you talk, yes, that's the one thing I don't mind getting older, because like I'm comfortable with it, and I like knowing things and knowing myself better now. But it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
if you put me now back then, oh yeah, I'd take full advantage of life. Like, there would be a lot of things done differently. And not that I even have any regrets, but I know now what I could have capitalized on more.
yeah, yeah. You see signs.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I would have done that different.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I say that's a dangerous thing. That's power.
Yeah. And that was the other thing. What makes me comfortable with getting older is like, you get, I mean, I even realized this like years ago, even when you realize when you're going through it, like things used to seem like a big deal in like school or something going on. And then I look now, I'm like, none of that stuff was any big deal whatsoever. Like it wasn't even close to important, or it's like didn't significantly do anything in my life. Now I'm like, wow, you would stress these things and worry about that stuff. And that was one of the good things about me getting older, is I just learned like, dude, that's none of that stuff. Even like, why are you stressing that? So it's like a much more like relaxed life for me now.
Yeah, my daughter was saying the other day about, like, things that were going on at school. It was causing her sort of like, oh no, this that happened, this person did this and all that. I'm
Hmm.
listening to it and going, that's nothing.
Hmm.
You're letting yourself get away, like run away with this. It's nothing. Just leave it alone. If you've said something to offend somebody, let them come to you and say, "I didn't like what you said," because then you can,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, if you, I don't think you've done anything wrong there, but obviously certain people might think that, oh,
Hmm.
you insulted my shadow. Um, but until somebody makes mention of it, then you deal with it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then go, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. It wasn't my intention. I'm sincerely sorry. But you don't want to upset people at the end of the day.
And that would have been a big bonus of like going back. Just knowing that would probably be the best thing about it. You know what I mean? Be like a lot less stressed or whatever. Especially when I was like, younger and all that kind of stuff. You deal with it different.
Yeah, as I say, it's like, some people just it gets all sort of wild, riled up over,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
at the end of the day. When you sit back and go, yeah, that was like a big bucket of crap, really. There was nothing.
yeah, for sure.
I don't know why I got myself so worked up
Yeah.
over that.
And
There was
that's what too. Now I'm like, I'm very conscious of like where my mental energy goes. You know what I mean? As far as like what I focus on, and it's like I think I heard. I don't know where I heard it from somewhere, but it like totally made sense to me. Just like it's like your mental diet, like what you take in. You know what I mean? From are you taking in good stuff, or are you always kind of being around negativity and all that kind of stuff? And I think like for me it plays a definite part. Like I even see it in this community. It's like where you get more positive people and more energy and stuff like that. That's where I'm like, okay, focus on that because you can drag yourself down pretty quick.
Yeah, there was somebody like a quite a prominent sort of like Twitterer amongst the hobbyist sort of community,
Hmm.
and there'd been some sort of like drama and stuff like that, and I just said, like, you just don't give a shit, basically.
I
And
mean, it's hard at this point. It is kind of like for most things, yeah. I can't. You know what I mean? It's like I got stuff going on. I'm trying to do this and like stay focused and all that kind of stuff, and I
but
can't
what I
get.
was trying to get across to her was that, like she's much younger, sort of thing. Like, I think they're probably in her 20s. And I said, look,
Hmm.
you might say you don't give a shit, but you do.
Yeah,
As you get older, when you say you don't give a shit,
yeah.
you don't.
You
Because
really mean it. It's like,
it don't. It does not matter. And you get older, like I say. I know, not trying to be like, there are some people out there that have like an old head on young shoulders,
yeah, yeah.
but there is this, like, as I said, like, we feel like we're still, teenagers,
Hmm.
but weathered, right? Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
but you do get to a point where you really don't give a shit about anything.
That's
You
true.
really go, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's not going to affect me. Whatever you're sort of trying to roll me up, it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. And I think there is, that, and sort of, because as you get older as well, like taste buds change and all that sort of thing. Because get you do get a bit more mellow in some
Yeah.
respects,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
and that's the thing. You're so laid back, you just go, okay.
See, that's the stuff I do enjoy about like the aging or whatever. It sucks because you're like, now, I mean, I'll think of it this way. I'm like in like 22, 23 years, I'm 70. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh my God. Like that's only like 20 some years away and I'm 70. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like 20 years. So then when like everything now I almost view through that filter and I'm like, oh, 20 years. Oh my God. Like, well, I can't worry about anything. Like if something goes on, I'm like, I don't have any like mental space for any of that. I got like 20 years of good time, if I'm lucky and you stay healthy because it could be quicker than that. But it's like, you could have longer or whatever, but I'm still at the end of the day, you're 20 something, then you're 70. I'm like, oh boy. So I So we'll see. This show could be something special in 20 some years, dude.
Well, yeah, we were talking about that last week, wasn't it? Really? 400 show.
We'll be in the old folks' home. We could have a good stream, dude. We'll be the talk of the old folks' home. We'll probably that would be our thing. Like probably at that time, we'll be like the hottest, like 70-year-olds. Like you'll be like YouTube sensations at 70 after doing it forever.
We'd have a warm up act and everything.
Yeah. We'll finally have, we'll finally get decent at this.
If
You
I
got any
was
special plans for the weekend or anything?
a good number of high yield stock investment, yeah. I was actually talking about that the other day with my boss, who I've known now for like 19 years. Because I worked for one company, changed what store I worked at, and I basically met my
Yeah.
current, who was my boss at the store I worked at. I
Okay.
went. I was trying to get advancement. Like I wanted to become an assistant manager and then manager of this big chain of flooring
Yep.
retail over here. So I got shipped off to this store. He's only a year older than me, but we're very like-minded in a lot of our mannerisms. Our
Yeah.
birthdays are quite close apart from a year difference. So we're very similar type of people, similar values and that sort of stuff. And where he used to sort of get the paper like and looking through it like his shares that he had on the share index.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at these things, and sometimes you look at these things, you go, "Oh, maybe those shares are quite cheap. Let's buy some of
Yeah.
them." And I actually said to him, and we still regrew this to this day, that I saw shares in Marconi over here were
Yep.
like 1p a share, and I said, "They're 1p a share. Maybe we should just buy £100 worth of shares each."
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, £100, yes, a lot of money, but the shares will go up because,
Yeah.
like Marconi, they deal with like airplanes, and I'm
Yeah.
sure there's going to be a war on.
Yeah. No doubt.
And then Gulf War Two happened.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, thinking actually 9/11 happened, and
Yeah.
then things were progressing from there. So this was 2002, and I just said, yeah, maybe we should, get in there because I'm sure that the prices,
Yeah.
war is going to pay for
Yeah,
stuff.
almost anything you bought 20, 30 years ago, if you put a bunch of money just in random stocks, you'd be
Yeah,
sitting better.
and those shares shortly after, like numerous wars kicked off. Marconi had created some sort of new radar system or whatever,
Yeah.
and everyone was buying it for their missile guidance. And suddenly shares went, "Ba-ding!"
You know.
And it's just like, you really missed the boat on that one.
Yeah.
That and Bitcoin.
Ain't that the truth?
Mm. Let's think. If you had 100 Bitcoins, if you bought $100 worth of Bitcoin, you'd be a
Oh
multi
God, yeah.
billionaire now.
Yeah.
Because like one Bitcoin is something like 25,000.
Yeah. 25 to 30, I think, right now.
So, but I always remember recently reading a story about the first purchase that somebody did with Bitcoin was for pizza in
Oh
New
yeah,
York.
when the pizza day when they have that one, yeah.
13 $13 purchase of pizza. That's worth sort of, oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Because the
You doing
brain.
any gaming or anything this weekend?
New, nothing. Oh geez, why were you? I'm trying to use a calculator on the phone. Yeah, so that pizza, $13 worth of pizza back then, is now valued at $325,000. That's some pizza. No gaming this week. Um, the guy who's been running our regular campaign had to take two Wednesdays off because today he's driving down from Scotland to pick up
Oh,
his parents and drive them back to Scotland, and then the following week he'll be driving them back home. So we're missing out on 2 weeks of role play.
yeah, yeah.
And
Duty
Clayton's
calls.
power. Welcome back, Clayton.
Clayton, power's back. What, did you knock the power out, dude? Fight the power? You fighting the power, Clayton?
A little bit of a public enemy there.
Yeah.
Oh. That's all about rappers. Segue.
Segue into rap.
I think this was probably was way back when we first started doing these on a Wednesday, and I think I made some fried chicken, which
Yep.
was using Snoop Dogg's recipe. I'll tell you what, I've been thinking about revisiting that because that was quite a tasty chicken dish. It was really nice, although because he does this recipe where you make a brine, and you
Oh
cook it,
yeah, gotcha.
you make this
Hmm.
brine, soak it overnight. And I just remember when I was making this brine, because there was like chili flakes in there and stuff,
Hmm.
and I wasn't measuring out quantities,
Yep.
and I pretty much made like tear gas because as this thing's boiling, my
Yeah,
eyes
all
are
the
like,
spice. Oh yeah, that's
yeah, and
hilarious.
like you can't breathe.
Tear gas
But
chicken.
yeah, I'll tell you what, it was quite tasty. I was well impressed with that. Yeah, I think I might have to do that again. Maybe next Monday.
Yeah, I'm overdue. I haven't had some good chicken in a while. I'm overdue.
I said I'll mail this laptop out tomorrow, and then it disappeared. And then I guess I'll do it today. Yes, why put off what today what you could do tomorrow, or something like that. I can't remember the phrase
Something like that.
along those lines. Yeah, and also no ghostly happenings this week.
No what?
No ghostly happenings.
Mm.
Remember
Nothing.
last
Nothing
week?
fell in the background. Your lights didn't kick on.
No, because there was last week. There was in several different forums and like social medias. There was a lot of talk about ghosts, and I just said, "Well, on our live stream the other day, if you go to this hour
We
minute
captured it live.
and just watch, we had a ghost instant right there. Yeah, that light came on, and yeah, this guy's going, "Oh, it's old electricity, old electrics. That's what caused it." I said, "Yes, yeah, they're really old. They've been there for 3 years now." Yeah, it came on by its own volition. I didn't even know it was a lie, to be honest. And it came on live air. So
We got it. We captured
we
it. Send in the ghost. Is Ghost Hunter still a thing?
oh, what was that? Remember? Did you ever watch Supernatural?
Supernatural. What? No, I don't think so.
There was. I watched it for about 7 seasons. It went on for about 12 or 13, maybe
Yeah.
14. It was very, very popular. But we watched it for about 7 seasons, and they had this like, because these two brothers who were fighting like demons, ghosts, or whatever,
Yep.
and there was a couple of episodes where they come across this sort of like a team of like young guys investigating ghost stories and stuff with their camcorders.
Yeah.
There's their own little like YouTube blog or whatever, and they were called Ghost Facers. Yeah, Ghost Facers, and yeah, it was just like that's my I compare that to everything now. So, oh, Ghost Facers. It's
There
like
was one.
he kick
I,
puncher.
I don't know if it came out on like Amazon. It came out on one of the services like Amazon, Hulu, or Netflix or something. But who? It's the guy who was in a lot of movies with Simon Pegg,
Oh, Nick
and
Frost.
yeah, and he played some ghost thing like that. There's some, and I didn't watch it yet. I don't know if I
Oh
should.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, and I know what I don't know the name of it, but I know what you're talking about. It's
Okay.
people have recommended it as well to me. But I actually rewatched Ted Lasso last week.
Oh, good. Yeah. So you know what's funny is I did too. So I watched. I think I did like the first. There, I got to the episode again where they just talked about they were in the bar and trying to figure out how to get rid of the curse.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Because like it's only another. I'm excited. It's like whatever it is, like a couple weeks away or something.
And they're also debating about the best Scorsese movie, and the the old barmaid goes, "Oh, shut up! You like we all know it's Mean Streets." Oh yeah, 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 that's a good one. Yeah. But the yeah, no, that was it? Oh, what's his name? Danny, not Danny Gonzalez, is it? I think that's actually a YouTuber. It was like the South American like striker who just coming along really happy. Football
Yeah.
is life. Um, da 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 da. Um,
Oh, you mean
then,
the whatchamacallit? Now I can't remember his name. Oh my God, he'd always say his name, and he's because soccer is life, football is
yeah.
life.
Oh, right, I'm going to Google that now.
Not Danny Trey. I want to say Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo, yeah, Danny Trejo.
What is his name? But I was just saying it like the last couple days. I was like repeating his name, and now I can't remember it. Oh, I'm so mad. Um,
Uh,
duh, 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 duh.
Rojas, Danny Rojas.
Oh,
No, I
that's it, Danny
don't
Rojas.
think I found his thing yet. Yeah, Danny Rojas. Yeah.
Yeah.
And May was the publican. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
next.
I wonder what's going to go on. I hope it's another good season. So I know they at least did they signed and like we're working on two more. You know what I mean? So they had two more seasons.
Yeah. Well, the what's it? I'm not sure. I don't know how I'm going to deal with the lack of Roy Kent. You know, the
Oh, they'll keep
midfield.
him. He's going to be. So I know because what's that's one of those there's shows where I got like attached to all the characters. Like they did really good with those characters. Like they gave them like a well-rounded personality where they aren't just all like it's not like the like Kaylee or whatever is just like some bimbo. You know what I mean? And it's not like they have a rounded personality, which I really dig about that show.
Yeah. It's funny enough. When I was just looking at the cast. Um, the young lady who plays Bex, who is like young Bex,
Yeah.
Rebecca. She's a former glamour model.
Oh yeah.
she Sophie, because I just saw her name and went, oh my god, that's her. Um, so Hannah Waddington is old Rebecca. Juno Temple plays Keely Jones. I think one of my favourite episodes was the one when they went to Manchester with the karaoke.
Oh yeah.
And they meet up with Rebecca's friend, um, who
Yeah, the partier one, and they have her sing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was good. I like that one.
Yes. Hi, Overton. He says, "Hi guys, Titan looks A Scott. Finally got my white dwarf and love the article. Thank you. I know it's that was the only bummer for me is that I still didn't get my subscription one. You know, and like, and by you guys, the newest white dwarf is already out. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh god, like, missed the boat on it. In Overton,
Wait,
here's the two I kind of worked on. I was doing this one. today and the riders. So thanks for swinging by. Appreciate it.
There was
We'll
a
be
decent
wrapping
movie.
it up here shortly. I wanted to
Um,
get this one was for I was messing around with animating.
I saw you jigging his arm.
It
Hello.
just cracks me up. It's like so I was just like, okay, let me see what on Procreate. I knew you could do it, so it gave me some idea. It's like, oh gosh, like, and of course I was aware of this. You know, the smoother you got to put more frames in. But I'm like, it's an intense amount of frames. You got to move it like a couple pixels. So it's like move it like 2 pixels, then another two, then another two. So like if I wanted to do that raising and do it smooth, it's probably like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, 30,
Oh,
40 frames, 50, 60 frames, you know?
mm. It's just like just a little like oh Danny Rojas
Dani
Rojas.
Roja.
Yeah, no, that's, I'm so looking forward to that next week. It's up for 20 nominations as well.
It should win something. Just like for me alone, it was like, okay, there's like a decent show that's it's not all drama. It's about someone who's like just being half cheerful and try. You know what I mean? It's just so unique right now. You know what I mean? Everything else is probably like sci-fi killing mystery cop shows. Everybody's like dead. Like whatever. And that one was just like some good positive energy that I wasn't expecting. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I'll just watch this, and I was like, oh wow, that's like it's something different.
Yeah, as I said before when we were talking about it, was that I first saw Ted Lasso
Yeah.
years ago as part of an advertisement for I think it was NBC's coverage
Yeah,
of the
and that's what's funny is I never saw that, and I was like,
mm,
"Oh, that's where it came from." Yeah.
yeah, and it was my team that he was the manager of.
Oh
So
wow.
actually, every now and again, on my Facebook comes up with like go good luck new coach Ted Lasso at
Yeah.
Spurs. Yeah, I was definitely a Lasso fan from then, 2012 that was. But
Oh
yeah,
wow, that was 2012.
that was 2012 that when that advert it was like a couple of
Oh
minutes long.
wow, so he really did mull it over for a long time.
Yeah, but obviously eventually somebody picked it up and went with it. Yeah, but totally worth it because it's just a really nice show. As you say, it's got a nice feel good to it.
It's a feel good, and it's not like over the top corny feel good. It's like okay, it's just, and I was like, wow, especially during the pandemic, you know what I mean? It was like all that stuff's going on. I was like, oh, it was a good time for like a feel good kind of show.
Yeah, I've even thought about either getting myself a Richmond FC
I want to
football
get something. I totally do want to get something.
as well as go down to where the pub is because there's a place down in London where they the pub that they film in.
Oh, really? That
Yeah,
would be cool.
so I think I'm not no, it might not be Greenwich. I was
Yeah.
looking at it today when I was after watching it again. Oh, nice! I love the new pet. Those outriders are really nice. Smile and wave, boys. Smile. I love those penguins. Oh, what is that? Oh, there's Shabba.
And I wonder, so I think Kent, like, what I think they'll do is I think he'll come back as like an assistant coach or something. You know what I mean? Like, I think they might,
Back in there as something, or you might even be like some sort of like player manager, a writer
yeah,
or something. It'll be something in there. But yeah, I just love the whole Roy Kent. You know, he won the Champions League with Chelsea, do you know? His old workhorse, and
yeah.
also what's his face? The guy who was on loan.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Who I now, what's funny is I watched it all the time. I can't remember any other names, but yeah, he, he'll obviously be playing against them. I wonder what is going to go on with that. Yeah, Jamie Todd. It's like his songs. There's little songs, Jamie,
Yeah.
I forget what.
Jamie, oh, the commentators that they have doing for the matches, Arlo White and Chris Powell. They're actually Arlo White is actually a commentator, and Chris Powell was a former footballer. And they've
Oh
got
wow,
into do all that. But yeah, no, it's crazy. I love all that. I might watch it
there's a
again.
lot of good.
Jamie, Jamie,
And like his little things where he's like, he's got to be like, I just remember that one where he's like, why are you egging him on or whatever? He's like, he's got to be the first domino to fall, or I forget what the how it was
yeah,
worded or whatever. But like
it's
his,
like the last time, yeah. You're not going to do anything about
you know,
this.
yeah. And he's like, and then he reads the book, and he's like, am I?
Stitching time, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Wait, am I the little girl?
yeah. By the little girl.
Even Trent Crim, the
Oh
reporter.
yeah, his character was great in that. That whole scene where he hangs out with them for the day and can't believe he's not full of shit. You know?
Yeah, because you're serious. You're actually
Yeah,
serious.
it's like this dude is like really like this. And the Nate the Great, like it was fun seeing his character like develop. You know, he went that whole way through. I was like, outcome, like that's a real cool like story arc, and
When he gives the team talk, and he's basically roasting them all, and then he gets onto Roy, and then Roy just walks right up to his face. Go on, say it to the face.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that was one of the best scenes where he reads it. That was great. He's like telling
Don't
everyone.
read
It was like,
it,
oh
tell
yeah.
it. So much good stuff in that.
Like it is full of like good little scenes like that. You know, they did really good with that. It was just like always little, you know, something a little different and quirky and
I, no spoilers, but the biscuits, biscuits for the bus.
yeah, biscuits
No,
with the
no, no.
boss. It's like biscuits with the boss. Like
Face
no,
when she first eats one, when she first takes a bite.
yeah,
Fuck me.
yeah. You can see it on her face and everything. And he's been making them. There was another one, like just her character. It was like she's kind of like the bad guy, but she's not like all like super bad. You know, it's just like it's because she's aggravated with the divorce and like lashing out. And it was like that was just such a cool like kind of character thing. It's like yeah, someone's doing a shitty thing, but it wasn't because she was like a totally horrible person. It was just like whatever. And they you know they had the friend come in. It was like a lot of good stuff in that.
No, one of my favourite films in the '90s was Major League.
Oh, for sure. That's funny.
You know,
That was one of yours too.
with the old Charlie Sheen and Tom Berenger,
Oh yeah,
Robert Burnson.
Wesley.
Yeah. Well, oh yeah, Wesley Snipes. Yeah, Willie Mays Hayes.
Yeah, Willie Mays Hayes.
Who's the voodoo guy.
Joe Joe
Serrano.
Boo, or was it Joe Boo? He's like, or was that the God's
He
name or
just
whatever?
sacrificed the chicken and he gets the KFC.
Yeah.
Hats for bats. Classic stuff. Classic '90s.
Yeah.
Old friend himself.
Well, Lee, are we still on for next week?
Yeah, still good for next week.
Good deal.
So,
Good deal. Are you streaming, working on some stuff Saturday? You know.
yeah, I should do really. As I said, because I don't know, mate. I might just paint something different, as a little, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
different.
Don't burn out because that's a lot.
Mm. You see, I know I've got like some like Necron stuff I could do. I wanted to. Um, and I'm still working on this Titan, but as I say, it's just I don't know. I just I'm not feeling it at the
Yeah,
moment.
don't rush if you're not. And I'm closer now. Like, if I have more things straightened out, and I'm trying. like in a couple weeks, I want to assemble some of the models. Like I'm going to do that. Like I've bust it all out, assemble a couple on a stream, maybe like on a Sunday stream or something, and
Yeah.
then get some paint on them. I think that'll be because I'm trying to do the Sunday one and mix it up, like do something different. It was nice last Sunday. I had Mechanical Frog on, and we had a split screen action. So he
All right.
was assembling and painting, and then I was doing a paint over. And I was like, all right, I want to just mess with what can be done with it, and I'll try some stuff and all that. So I think
Let's
I'll and
play
it
off
always
each.
looks like even when I watch you, I'm like, okay, that looks kind of cool. Like I want to be able to just chill and assemble. And I don't know if it's I don't know if it's my attention span now or if it's tied with the age. It's just a weird thing where like I don't like panic, but I'm like, okay, I should be like working on a paint over. So it's very hard for me to be like, okay, let's just chill and assemble a model. It's like, well, dude, you're trying to build this thing and I'm not like I'm not like brought down like, oh, I got to do a paint over. So I'm excited for it. So then it's extra hard. It's like, oh, you're excited for it. Go do it. Get that done and stay on top of it and, all that stuff. So it's like things are going good. And so now's not the time to take the foot off the gas. You know what I mean? So it's like hard to keep, like go, go, go. 20 some years, you're 70, boy. Get ready. Like, you better
Stop
do
saying that. Man. Stop saying
I know, dude. That's all I think. And so that's all I'm focused on. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, go, go,
well,
go.
he feels you. Paint my own models nowadays is like a late weekend thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, normally I get sort of 2 days off during the week. Um, when the kids are at school, I've got several hours to do my hobby, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But since my boy finished college mid June, so I've got to go spend time with them,
Yeah.
and I can't do my hobby stuff with me, sort of thing, because it's not in my house; it's at their house. So, um, yeah, so those hours have lost. So especially the only real hobby I'm doing is either on the Saturday night stream
Mm-hmm.
or maybe a Monday night, if anything, or whenever I can, really.
Overton, thanks for stopping by. You have a good evening or day or whatever type of piece of the world you happen to be in.
Yeah, nice to see you again, dude.
Yeah, appreciate it. Clayton, get some stuff done. I'm sure I will see you in Discord here shortly. I got a puppy who's fully focused on me right now, so I think it's probably a good time for us to call it a day.
Yeah, no worries.
Good
So,
show as usual, at least from my perspective. I enjoyed it. I don't know about anyone watching it, but I sure did.
oh,
So,
we've got a few
have a good
people
one.
here hung out with us, so it's always appreciated.
And we will see you all soon.